Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Topping our newscast, preparations for the Virgin Islands Centennial are underway, not just in the territory, but in Congress as well. Delegate to Congress Stacey Plaskett is pushing a bill that aims to draw attention to the centennial activities. It would also drive conversation on issues still existing in territories like the Virgin Islands. News 2's April Knight has more.
Delegate Stacey Plaskett's Centennial Commission Act is one step closer to becoming law. On Tuesday, it passed the U.S. Senate Committee on Oversight and Government Reform with a unanimous vote.
This bill establishes the Virgin Islands of the United States Centennial Commission to research, plan, develop, and carry out national activities the Commission considers appropriate to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Virgin Islands of the United States becoming an unincorporated territory.
But the commission is not just about the events surrounding the 100th Transfer Day. It's a platform for Plaskett to engage Congress and the administration on inequality issues still plaguing American territories.
I believe that this congressional commission will engage other lawmakers in Congress and elsewhere in a new national discussion about the challenges and the enormous opportunities present in the Virgin Islands. Educate those unaware of that history on a national level of the importance of the territories to the geopolitical advancement of this great nation.
Plaskett has been vocal in Congress about voting rights for Virgin Islanders in presidential elections and pointed out their contributions to the country. Plaskett's Centennial Commission Act has already gotten the support of more than 70 members of Congress, according to her office.
And we have arrived at a place, I believe, where both sides have found common ground, and I'm asking for your support, Mr. Chairman, in moving this out of committee and onto the House floor.
And I would strongly encourage members on their own personal dime to go to the Virgin Islands and personally celebrate its rich history.
A resolution was also introduced to create a postal stamp commemorating the centennial.
Now, the House still has to vote on the passage of the Virgin Islands Centennial Commission Act of 2016. Count on two, we will keep you updated. Meanwhile, the movement to get the Supreme Court to review a citizenship rights case being promoted by We the People, the project got a boost yesterday. 7 amicus briefs were filed in support of a petition submitted last month by prominent Supreme Court attorney Theodore B. Olson on behalf of a group of passport-holding Americans denied recognition as U.S. citizens because they were born in American Samoa. Tuao versus United States makes the case that Congress cannot legislate an exception to the citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment to withhold citizenship from persons born in U.S. territories. The briefs were filed by individuals and organizations with a Virgin Islands connection, including Congresswoman Plaskett and former governors John DeYoung and Charles Turnbull. The lineup of Supreme Court counsel includes Paul Clement, Paul Smith, and Paul Wolfson, who also each filed briefs. In other news, Ashemba Fred, 22 of Tortola, BVI, pleaded guilty in district court to encourage and inducing aliens to illegally enter the United States. According to the plea agreement, the United States Coast Guard conducted a safety stop on a vessel in Jersey-based St. Thomas. A Haitian national and a national from the Dominican Republic were aboard the vessel. Fred admitted that the Dominican Republic national paid him $700 to travel to St. Thomas from Tortola, and that Fred knew that he did not possess proper documents to lawfully enter the United States. District Court Judge Curtis Gomez sentenced Michael Lewis, 36, to 75 months imprisonment and 3 years of supervised release for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. According to the plea agreement filed with the court on June 23, 2015, officers from the VIPD attempted to conduct a field interview with Lewis, who took off running. As Lewis was running from VIPD officers, a butt of a firearm was seen protruding from his front right pocket. He was later apprehended in a residence where he had discarded 3 firearms. VIPD officers recovered those firearms. Lewis is a convicted felon and cannot legally possess a firearm in the Virgin Islands. Well, as we reported earlier, USVI Tsunami Preparedness Week is all set for March 13th to the 19th. VITEMA will participate in the Caribbean Region Tsunami Exercise on March 17th. Tsunami siren systems will be tested, school evacuation drills planned, and it's all in observation of USVI's Tsunami Preparedness Week. On Thursday, March 17, the territory joins several Caribbean countries in that regional tsunami response exercise titled Carib Wave 16. The exercise is designed to evaluate local tsunami response plans, increase tsunami preparedness, and improve coordination throughout the region. An 8.4 magnitude earthquake simulation will be off the Caribbean coast of Venezuela, and that will generate the tsunami that will trigger widespread tsunami warning and watch. The situation will be throughout the Caribbean, which requires the implementation of local response plans. Again, that is a drill. 33 St. Croix Educational Complex high school student volunteers this weekend will face the final challenge before joining the ranks of Teen CERT, which stands for Community Emergency Response Team, a youth disaster preparedness program sponsored by Vitima and Virgin Islands Rescue. At 3 p.m. on Sunday, March 6, the educational complex student volunteers will participate in a mock full-scale hurricane exercise to test basic disaster response skills learned in the classroom and during hands-on training, including fire safety and suppression, light search and rescue, disaster medical operations, and team organization. The student volunteers also completed cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR, that training as part of the program, and will each receive an American Heart Association CPR certification card. The hillside was noticeably changed in the area of the Bridge to Nowhere in Nada. Over the weekend, the land was cleared by the landowner in preparation for a gas station and convenience store, according to the permit. One lawmaker responds to concerns from the residents over that construction. NEWS2's April Knight has that story.
Work has stopped on this site at a busy Nada intersection on St. Thomas. Some residents have expressed concern over a convenience store and gas station that's going to be built here. Senator Marvin Blyden, chairman of the Senate Committee on Housing, was alerted to the situation.
I heard about a problem after receiving a barrage of calls from residents of the Nada community, and I came on here and investigated the situation. Their main concerns was, number one, why they didn't have a public hearing. Number two, no one informed them of anything. And number three, what was going there?
Blyden said developments like this surrounded by residential land should have gone through public hearings.
They stated that a public hearing was heard in 2013, but based on my investigation, no public hearing was heard. And even if a public hearing was heard in 2013, that time have already expired. So they need to have a new public hearing in order to move forward with this development.
Nigel Bernard operates a small car wash next to the lot. He says he has no problem with the development, but he said he would have wanted more discussion and less trees being cleared. The DPNR permit states that no tree may be cleared less than 25 feet away from a gut at the edge of the road. Bernard says trees close to the road were definitely torn down.
According to Blyden, he met with DPNR Commissioner Dawn Henry, who promptly issued a cease and desist order. The big question, of course, is how the applicants got the permit in the first place.
Blyden said it's something he intends to find out.
That is the most important issue to me. How, who, what, when, where, and why, and to prevent that from happening again, because like I stated, if that was me, trust me, I would have to go through every process. I would be put through the ringer. So I don't want no special favors for anyone else.
Reporting for NEWS2, I'm April Knight.
Now, Senator Blyden said he intends to hold public hearings with the residents of Nada as well as DPNR on that particular development. The United Nations Humanitarian Relief Agency for Children is getting a big assist from Google in the fight against the Zika virus. The internet search giant has donated $1 million to UNICEF. Google engineers are working with the agency to map the spread of the Zika virus. Google said in a blog post Thursday, mapping the outbreak is not easy. Many people who've contracted Zika don't show any symptoms. The virus is spread by mosquitoes. It's been linked to almost 5,000 cases of a catastrophic birth defect in Brazil, and the outbreak has spread to other countries in Latin America. The CDC has reported more than 100 cases of the virus in U.S. travelers returning from Zika-infected areas. Hillary Clinton, the GOP, is in a battle to stop what was once unthinkable, a Donald Trump general election ticket. Panic within the party has brought out high-profile Republicans from past and present, including the most recent Republican presidential nominee. Reed Binion reports.
I think he could do great damage to the party. He already has.
Former Republican House Majority Leader Tom DeLay weighing in on the crisis mode efforts of the GOP to stop the ascendance of Donald Trump after his strong gains on Super Tuesday.
And it's only too bad that Winner didn't take all. Because if Winner took all, this thing is over. We're just having a celebration.
2012 GOP nominee Mitt Romney joined that fight recently, hitting Trump on taxes in an interview with Fox News.
Frankly, I think we have good reason to believe that there's a bombshell in Donald Trump's taxes.
That war of words is set to escalate Thursday, with Romney expected to slam Trump in a high-profile speech just hours before the frontrunner faces his rivals on the debate stage. Trump responded to Romney's planned speech in typical Donald fashion on Twitter, writing, "Failed presidential candidate Mitt Romney is having a news conference tomorrow to criticize me. Just another desperate move by the man who should have easily beaten Barack Obama." Meanwhile, Ben Carson has pulled out of Thursday's debate altogether, also saying in a press release that he, quote, saw no path forward. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Keeping our eye on the economy, here's a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. Everything up. The Dow 44, NASDAQ 4, S&P 500 also up at 6. Coming up on News 2, time for our VI history quiz. Which Virgin Islands politician lost in the race for governor to Melvin Evans in 1970, but eventually won in 1978, and now has an airport named after him? Answer coming up. As we continue to recognize VI History Month, we remember Cyril Emanuel King. He was born in Fredericton, St. Croix, was best known for his political achievements, but he was also a member of the U.S. military and rose to the rank of sergeant. He was member of the staff of U.S. Senator Hubert Humphrey for 12 years. He conducted a government study that became the basis of grading various jobs in the system. He lost in the race for governor to Melvin Evans in 1970, but eventually became governor of the Virgin Islands in 1975 until 1978. The main airport on St. Thomas is named in his honor. Commissioner Carlos Robles of the Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture announced a grant program to fund projects that are designed to enhance the competitiveness of specialty crops in the territory. This program is part of the USDA Agricultural Marketing Services Specialty Crop Block Grant. The purpose is to fund projects that can produce the highest degree of measurable benefits to VI specialty crop producers. The VI DOA is presently seeking applications from individual farmers, nonprofit organizations, corporations, and more. Funds will be prioritized. The VI DOA will accept grant applications from each applicant with a value of up to $5,000 and a minimum of $1,000. Application deadline is April 15, 2016. You can call the department for more information. On Saturday, March 5th from 6 to 7 p.m. at Concordia Eco Resort Pavilion, Dr. Jessica Carilli of Massachusetts Boston will be giving a presentation and answer a question about her research entitled Using Coral Skeleton Chemistry to Reconstruct Sedimentation in Coral Bay and Lameshare Bay over the past 100 to 200 years. She would like to explain how she and her team are doing that research and assumptions about long-term sediment delivery to the bay, and get some feedback on how to make the project more useful to Coral Bay in maintaining the future health of the bay. The Virgin Islands Casino Control Commission and its local and national responsible gambling partners, they are recognizing the month of March as National Problem Gambling Awareness Month. The PGAM was established by the National Council on Problem Gambling to promote awareness and education on the devastating effects of problem gambling. The VICCC and its collaborators are urging healthcare providers in the Virgin Islands to have the conversation with their patients and colleagues on the physical and mental health effects of a gambling addiction. A series of media appearances from March 21st to the 24th will promote the PGAM as scheduled. They're scheduled. Responsible gambling messages will be displayed at St. Croix casinos on marketing materials and is accessible to patrons. CFVI is pleased to announce that their annual academic scholarships for graduate and undergraduate students are now available. The mission of the Community Foundation is to enhance the quality of life for VI youth and to provide opportunities that would not otherwise be available. One of the ways that mission is accomplished is through the offering of post-secondary academic scholarships. Funds for these offerings are provided through the generosity of CSVI donors. Selection will be based on students' overall financial need, academic progress, extracurricular activities, and answers to essay questions. The CSVI website, you can get that information, or the deadline to submit the scholarship application is April 8th, 2016. The stage is literally being set at the Reichel Center for the Arts for its upcoming weekend performance, Hover Space. And it's not your regular dance show. Instead of dancing on solid ground, dancers are performing on an elevated floor that constantly changes. And according to choreographers, it presents an extreme challenge that would prove exciting to the audience.
A hover floor is its own sort of character and beast in the context of this show. The dancers have to get used to dancing on angles that are very steep, and of course as dancers we're trained to find our lines and find our technique on the floor. So for them it's a whole new experience, and they actually had to let go of some of their existing notions of technique. I think it's exciting. It sort of ups the game for what contemporary dance can be.
This is beyond your normal dance performance or performing arts performances. This is why Reichel Center is here. Henry Reichel, 30 plus years, he made the center for shows like this.
Remember the old First Fridays held on St. Thomas? Well, Taj over at Buddha Sushi has teamed up with Larry Bryan to bring it back. The first this Friday, they say, will be the kickoff with lots in store, including promotion of local talent. Here's more.
Yeah, we've been known for our full moon parties, and people have been asking for something to do that's a little bit more elegant and for a more mature crowd. So we say, why not bring sushi and a late night menu and great music, great food, and just a really good vibe. We plan on doing a few more events as well to incorporating live performances and local talent as well, just to build a culture, and especially we have so many talented artists.
This First Friday event is the kickoff event for a series of upscale events that will be taking place at Buddha Sushi over the next several months. We have an idea to do an event called Sushi and a Mic, and that's a variety show / talent showcase where we incorporate just the elegant dynamic of sushi and entertainment. So it's the equivalent of dinner and a movie, per se. And we just want to make sure we cater to the grown demographic here on St. Thomas.